Hello, Klaus here, and welcome back to yet another video here at the channel. In today's video, we're going to have a look at the Weeylite Ninja 200. And quick disclaimer, I was sent this light to test out, but the opinion of this video is completely my own. So let's have a look at the Weeylite Ninja 200. So it comes in this very nice carrying case. It's a pretty big carrying case, and it comes with different configurations in general the light. So inside we have a dish, we have some this is a Boring's mount to this light mount adapter. It is not a Boring's mount, but we're going to have a look into that. And then we have the Ninja 200 right here. It is a very small light, and a power brick, and they did also send me a remote control, so we're going to test that out as well. This does not come normally, so there is also a different pack where we have a battery plate. You can attach that right here, and then you can run out of Sony MP style batteries. Unfortunately, I did not get that. There is also a pack where you can get like a light dome and stuff like that, but that's not what I had or I got. So let's have a look at what I got. So the light itself, it is very, very light. It is around 900 grams or something like that, and comes in this bracket. You can turn and you can put this onto a C-stand or a light pole, something, whatever. Also, the mount is this, I don't actually know what kind of name it is. It is not a Boring's mount, which I'm pretty used to. It's a very small little light compared to a Boring's mount. And if we have a look at the mount here, you can mount this on, and then you can put in the Boring's mount here on the top here. So compared to a Boring's mount, this is like half the size or something. So you can do that. Also, we can have a look at the dish here. And actually, I'm going to take off the Boring's mount here again. Go, and I'm just going to put on this small little dish here. So that is actually going to show you more or less the footprint of the light itself. So what I thought we would do is we're going to do some different light tests, of course, so we can see how much output it's going to put out. Also to note is that this is a bicolor light. And it is actually pretty handy to have like a bicolor if you're doing a lot of corporate work where the light fixtures change and stuff like that. It's very handy to do the bicolor. So if it's very warm or yellowish, you can change that in the light. Or if you just want a more bluish look, you can do that. Of course, if you have the time and you have a light that's not bicolor, you could always fix that by using gels and stuff like that. But on a run and gun shoot, this is a very nice thing to actually have. So we're going to plug this in. I'm going to do some different shots, and I'll talk to you along the way. One little thing to note actually is that the light itself has a fan, and you know, it might be a little too loud for you if you're doing some kind of a interview or something like that, and the microphone is pretty close to the light. So just to keep that in mind. Also, we can just power this up, and again, it comes with this extremely long cable compared to some of the other cables out there, or the lights out there. This is actually a pretty long cable, so you can run this to a power brick or to your DC, pretty long line. So let's just plug it in. One sec. Now it's plugged in, and I'll just try to turn it on. It is super simple here on the back. You just have an on and on off button. And of course you can click here and we can change the kelvins, as you see right here. We can go all the way down to 2800 Kelvin and all the way up to, I think it's 8500 Kelvin. And right now it's on 8%. So now we can just booting it up, and you can see on the background actually it's torching a huge light on 100%, and we can of course dim this all the way down to 0 and 1%, and even on 1% this is extremely bright. I wouldn't recommend you to do that actually. So again, maybe you can hear the fan now because it does kick in. So if I just shut up and keep my light here, you can hear the fan, because I do have my mic right out of frame. So I'm pretty sure you're going to pick that up. Of course, there is in this a mode as well where you can go in and actually take off the motor. I'm just going to shut up the light for 1 sec. You can take out the motor. That has a little bit of a side effect because it is going to dim down the light if you're using this for a long time. So it's not going to overheat, it's going to dim down the light. So you're going to lose percentage of light over time. So that might not be what you want to do. But of course, if you're using this to do product shots and stuff like that, fan noise isn't a problem at all. If you are doing concerts and stuff where there's a lot of noise, fan noise isn't a problem at all. But again, let's jump in and do some different tests, and I'll talk to you again along the way what I'm doing and how the setup is, and then I'll come back and I'll tell you what I think of the light. Let's go. So in terms of controlling your Weeylite, you have 3 options. The manual way, where you can control everything on the light. You have the remote, and you have your smartphone, because there is a app, so it's pretty easy to find the app. Just go in and search for Weeylite and you can find the app. The app itself is very intuitive and very simple, and compare that to the remote control, which I actually find kind of useless when you have the app. I think the app would be the way to go, and the remote would be no thank you. So I'm throwing that out of here because I'm not going to use it. Also, like I talked about in the opening here of the video, the light itself has this fan noise, and I'm pretty sure you can hear it whenever I boot this up. I'm just going to, if you see, my lab is pretty close, and I'm sure you can hear that. But of course you can turn that off. You do that by pushing the menu button and holding that down. And then we are just going to push a couple of times, and then we go into this mode, which is called fan mode. And right now it's on. So I'm just going to push the dial here to turn this to off. And now it's a quiet light. As you see, I'm just putting the menu button down here, and now I can control my lights here with no sound at all. And that is good and everything. However, it is a bit clumsy to do this every time, because as soon as you turn off your light and turn it on again, the fan kicks right in again, and that's actually a bit annoying. But you can turn it off, and of course this is going to have the benefit not to making so much noise. However, over time this is going to minimize the light. It's going to turn down the percentage. So if you start on 100%, like after half an hour, it's going to drop maybe to around 80, and then so on. Every time the lights get hotter, it's going to dampen down the lights, not to overheat. So that is something to keep in mind. So I thought we would run to the light inputs, and that's what we're going to do right now. So I'm just going to turn this on, put it down on 0, and this is on, let's say we want it to be on a different Kelvin. Let's say we're going to put this on 5200, like that. I'm going to turn off my light here at the side, which is from another brand. But so now we have darkened the room here, and I'm just going to turn this up, and this is on 1%. And you can see I'll turn this up, like now it's on 30, and it is putting out a little more light, but it is actually very, very bright at 1%. And now I'm turning this all the way up to 100. So this is how bright it will go, and you can see if I put it in my hand here, it's totally washed out. And again here, and here again on 0 and 1%. Also on 1% it is pretty bright already. So for the next segment of this video, I'm going to run through some of the special effects that I find useful, and we can have a look at how they look and how that actually works. So let's get right into that. In the app it's called Scenes, and I'm using the app to control those because that is the fastest way to do that. So in the app here, we have a thing like flash, and I'm going to speed this up. So we have here a flash you can use if you're doing some kind of a flash effect. And you have 3 different modes. You have a slow, a normal, and a fast. So I guess if we are having a lot of thunder and lightning, this is what we're going to use. It'll be interesting to see how it actually performs. Then we have a firework, and again, you can control this with fast and normal and slow. And also you can go up with the power. Not much is happening on slow here. So here we have that. Of course, an effect like this would be way better if you had some kind of an RGB light, so the different colors. Then we have a burst, which is what it says, a burst. We have the default bulb blink. Again, we can control the power of that and how fast it's going to be. Something like that. I'm going to take down the power of that. Then we have the flame mode here. And of course, if we are using the flame mode, it would be pretty good to actually go in and change the Kelvins, so it'll be way warmer, something like that. So we'll go back to scene here, and here we have the fireplace here. So now we have a fire, and that can of course be controlled again slow like that and fast. We also have one called filming. I don't know what kind of mode that is. We have a TV and a welt. That is a very specific mode, I think. And then we have some different curves, an alarm, movie mode, different modes, and there is a lot of them. So even though I think it's great that Weeylite added in special effects are more useful in a RGB light, in my opinion. Even though the stuff like lighting and the flames are pretty good, the other ones are maybe not that useful. But again, it's nice that they are added. And of course, on a pinch, you could use them in your projects. So if you have other lights that are using a Boeing's mount, this mount is not that, it's a small one, but of course you can adapt that with this plastic adapter, which is included, at least in the pack I got. And I'm just going to test that out, and you can see how it looks with a softbox and different modifiers on. That's what we're going to do in this segment. So let's get right to that. Again, we can use this light with different modifiers. Here I have put on the Boeing's mount adapter, and I have a snook on, which are doing these combed shaped things. And of course we could add in something like this, where we're going to make this like a red comb, something like that. So you can absolutely do that in here. So we have this red comb if we want to do some kind of an effect where we need that. Also, let's just jump into a softbox shot. So here I am using a softbox just out of frame here on the Weeylite, and it's just a pretty normal softbox with a grid, and this is the kind of light that it's giving. The percentage of this is around 30, so it's probably a bit high, but this is the only light in this scene, and this is how this looks. And you know, I think out of what I can see from my monitor, this looks pretty decent. So hopefully that is also what it is. So let's get back and let me tell you what I think about this light. Okay, so I do hope you liked the different tests I just ran with the Weeylite Ninja 200. So what are my thoughts about this light? Actually, I think this is a great small little light. It has a build quality that is plasticky, but it's okay. And the bracket is very nice. It's pretty sturdy and it will hold the light very well. So that is a plus in my book. I'm not so fond of the noise that the fan makes. However, if you are only using this to do product videos and stuff like that, it's not a problem. The price of the Ninja 200 is, for this kit I got here, I think that was $160 something, but you can get it up to $300, but that is a complete set with modifiers and everything. One thing I would have loved this one to have is actually to have the borings mount, so I wouldn't have to add in this extra accessory. And also the build quality of the mount itself, it's really plasticky, and even though there are an extra support, so you can either hang it in this or you can hang it in the other. I would maybe recommend to do like a support as well, so it's going to take up a little more space to make this work, I think. However, it is still a nice little thing, and also think that the version where you can put in a battery plate right here, I would have loved to have that, but they didn't send me that, so I can't really talk about how well it's working, but the idea of that is pretty neat, I think. Also, the cable is great, it's long, and it's good to have these extreme long cables when you're doing videos, so I think, again, that is a plus. So who is this light for? I think this light is for small content creators, people who doesn't have a big space whenever they want to do videos. And also, this is a good option if you are on a super tight budget. That being said, I know there are other brands out there. The Ironman from Aperture are also very small and quite nice. If you want me to make like a comparison between that and the Ironman, you can write that down in the comments. I did do a video about that light as well, so you can have a look at that and compare those together. But if you want me to do a video comparison head to head, let me know down in the comments below. Okay, so I do hope you found this little video useful. If you did, please hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, share it with your friends if you think it would help them out. And if you want to be notified every time there's a new video on this channel, please hit that bell icon down in the corner. Until next time, keep filming, keep learning, and keep sharing.